Tailies won't do it. Drake is back and he's not playing around. A brand new video making waves online shows him taking direct shots at Kendrick Lamar and his entire crew. And for once, Kendrick has nothing to say. Drake didn't hold back. What? He dropped changes everything. Let's break it all down. Drake breaks his silence. If y'all thought the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar beef ended after Kendrick served that boy at the Super Bowl, man, listen, you better think again. Because the Sixth God just dropped some heat no one saw coming. And I'm telling you right now, this joint is about to flip the entire narrative we thought ended on July 5th, 2025, in what can only be described as one of the most calculated and cold-blooded moves we've seen in recent hip-hop history. Drake surprise dropped his latest banger, What Did I Miss?, during a wild YouTube livestream titled Iceman Episode 1.
I'm telling you guys what you missed, and you missed Drake's new song called What Did I Miss? Oh, ain't missing. Well, I ain't missing. I heard.
Now, hold up. Before we dive into this lyrical warfare, let me set the scene for just how major this moment really was for real. For real. Picture this, folks all around the world were just chilling, scrolling through their feeds like any other day when suddenly Drake's team orchestrated this wild, unannounced live stream event. The production value? Absolutely insane. We're talking cinematic visuals, that signature moody vibe Drake's been refining for years, and an atmosphere so thick with tension you could feel it through your screen. The track immediately skyrocketed to the top of both the US Spotify and Apple Music charts the moment it dropped, proving that even after all the shots fired by Kendrick, Drake's fanbase is still riding hard for their guy. But here's where it really gets spicy and why this release is far more significant than just another Drake drop. You feel me? See, this ain't just music. This is strategic warfare wrapped in verses. The timing, the presentation, even the title itself, What Did I Miss? All of it screams a calculated clapback in response to what many believed was one of the most devastating losses in battle rap history. Let me paint the picture of where we stood before this bombshell landed. After Kendrick absolutely demolished Drake throughout 2024, capping it off with tracks like Not Like Us and Meet the Grams most of the hip-hop world had already written, Drake's obituary in this chapter of their feud. Kendrick's Not Like US didn't just win the battle. That track became a full-on cultural moment. It snatched 5 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year, making it the first diss track in history to receive that level of prestigious recognition.
The day that Not Like Us dropped, I called him that night and I was like, yo, you won, it's over, you know, like I was just going crazy, like this shit is crazy.
The devastation Kendrick delivered was so complete that when he performed at the Super Bowl halftime show in February 2025, the man literally brought out Serena Williams, who everyone knows had some history with Drake back in the day, to dance. During his live performance of Not Like Us, talk about adding salt to the wound. That performance pulled in 133.5 million viewers worldwide. And Kendrick didn't stop there. He even took a jab at Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group, saying, I want to play their favorite song, but, you know, they love to sue. At that point, most people, including myself, thought Drake had officially thrown in the towel. You feel me? His final response in 2024, The Heart Part 6, was clowned by critics and fans alike. The track received heavy criticism and didn't even come close to matching the cultural and sonic impact of Not Like Us. It looked like Drake was ready to shift gears, focus on expanding his business empire, possibly tap back into his acting roots, maybe even take a step away from rap for a while. But that's exactly what makes What Did I Miss so wild and so potentially game-changing. This doesn't sound like an artist who took an L and called it quits. This sounds like someone who's been quietly plotting, calculating, and waiting for the perfect moment to remind the world that reports of his downfall were greatly exaggerated. The production on this track? Immaculate. With credits going to an all-star lineup including London Seer, Oil, Angel DJ Lewis, Tay Keith, Oz, FNZ, Elias, Guys, and Patron. It's a stacked roster. The beat features moody synths and a hard-hitting rhythm that perfectly matches the track's introspective yet defiant tone. It's that emotionally charged, atmospheric backdrop. Drake has always excelled at the kind of soundscape that becomes The perfect canvas for what feels like a musical therapy session, disguised as a diss track. What's particularly interesting about Drake's approach this time around is the finesse. Unlike the more overt and confrontational energy of his 2024 tracks like Push-Ups and Family Matters, What Did I Miss leans heavily into the subliminal. It's all about emotional manipulation. This isn't, I'm about to lyrically destroy you. It's, I'm going to make you feel the weight of what you did to our relationship. Even the title, What Did I Miss? Is straight up psychological warfare. Real talk, it operates on two levels as both a sincere question and a rhetorical trap. Drake positions himself as the confused, betrayed party, the one who gave everything and got nothing but betrayal in return. It's classic victim positioning wrapped in strategic vulnerability. And honestly, from a narrative perspective, it's brilliant.
The song, honestly, it just sounds like another good hit Drake. I mean, a good Drake hit. It don't really sound like.
I don't even know if it's
I wouldn't say a hit. It don't.
It's a cool one.
Like another Drake, like a vibe. Like, okay, like a vibe.
The streets were already buzzing about this track before most fans even realized what was going down. The strategic timing of the release, the theatrical presentation, the carefully crafted narrative, everything pointed to something way bigger than just a single song. The track teases a potential album titled Iceman, suggesting that this could be the opening shot in a much larger campaign. And what's particularly cold about it all is how Drake has rebranded himself for this new era. The Iceman persona marks an evolution from the emotional, vulnerable Drake we've come to know for over a decade. This version of Drake is cold, calculated, and completely unbothered by the chaos surrounding him. It's a direct response to Kendrick's attempts to frame him as soft, fake, and someone who doesn't belong in hip-hop culture. Now, the timing of this release is something that deserves a closer look. It dropped on the July 4th weekend, Independence Day in the United States. There's something undeniably poetic about Drake choosing this exact moment to declare his independence from the media narrative that had been written about him. It's him saying, I ain't done with this story yet, and I damn sure ain't gonna let you write the ending. But perhaps most importantly, What Did I Miss represents something we haven't seen from Drake in a very long time: genuine emotion channeled through his artistry. This ain't the commercial Drake chasing radio spins. This ain't the pop-leaning Drake trying to please everybody. This is an artist using his platform to process real pain, real betrayal, and real confusion about how relationships can change so dramatically, and suddenly, the fan reaction has been electric. Drake's recent streaming numbers are off the charts. His February 2025 collab project Some Sexy Songs for You hit 92.4 million streams in a single day, actually surpassing Kendrick's GNX, which had topped out at 92.3 million. That alone proves that, despite what the narrative may suggest about him losing the beef, Drake's fanbase still rides for him hard, and his commercial appeal remains incredibly strong. Breaking down the bars, Drake's most personal shots. Now let's dive into the lyrical content that's got the whole hood talking wild right now. Because what Drake delivered in What Did I Miss isn't just a series of bars, it's a masterfully constructed emotional breakdown. A meditation on betrayal, loyalty, and the price of success in this rap game. The genius of the track doesn't lie in raw aggression, it's all about psychological precision. You feel me? Drake isn't just throwing shots, he's performing surgery on relationships. He's exposing all the raw, vulnerable spots where trust used to live, and the primary target of this emotional autopsy? All those people who attended Kendrick Lamar's The Pop Out concert back in June 2024. Let's start with the chorus, which pretty much serves as Drake's thesis statement for the entire track. I don't give a if you love me. I don't give a if you like me, asking me how did it feel. Can't say it didn't surprise me. Last time I looked to my right, you was standing beside me. How can some people I love hang around who try me? This opening salvo is absolutely devastating in its vulnerability. Real talk, Drake is essentially saying, I don't need your validation anymore, but your betrayal still hurts. That line about looking to his right and seeing people standing beside him, it paints a vivid image of what looked like solidarity, but in hindsight it was all fake as hell.
Nobody cares till they in front of your tombstone. So
I'm not mad at what he's rapping about. He feels like these people was his homies, and he's going back at him. I'm not mad at it.
Nobody cared till they in front of your tombstone. So what's up? I'm not even mad at what Drake's rapping about. He feels like these people were his homies, and now he's firing back. And I can't blame him, but the real knife twist comes with that phrase, "to try me." It's a clear reference to Kendrick Lamar and his entire crew. Drake's not just throwing shade, he's basically calling Kendrick weak while simultaneously questioning the loyalty of everyone who stood by him. It's a double-edged strike, cutting down both his main opponent and the secondary players who, in Drake's view, committed outright betrayal. As the verses unfold, Drake's lyrical precision turns surgical. In the first verse, he drops this bombshell: "You switched on the guys and supported a hater." Let's go. That bar hits hard because it frames Kendrick not as a worthy competitor, but as a hater, someone acting out of bitterness and envy. It's Drake's way of diminishing Kendrick's 2024 victory, suggesting that it wasn't about skill or bars, but pure negativity, but the most explosive line in the entire track. It comes in the second verse, and many believe it's aimed squarely at LeBron James. "I saw bro went to pop out with them, but been riding gang since headlines." This one shook the hip-hop and sports communities alike. The pop-out reference clearly points to Kendrick's June 2024 concert, where LeBron was seen dancing and vibing, celebrating Kendrick's apparent win in the beef. The line about headlines throws it all the way back to 2011 when Drake was rising, implying LeBron supported him during his come-up but switched teams when it was convenient. But the man done put so many people on. Think about it. It's almost too easy to hate on Drake at this point. The sheer audacity of potentially targeting LeBron James, one of the most powerful figures in sports and entertainment, can't be overstated. Drake and LeBron have had a long-standing friendship, with public appearances and even a tattoo on Drake's body in LeBron's honor. For Drake to publicly question that bond shows just how deeply the events of 2024 shook him. And LeBron ain't the only potential target. DeMar DeRozan, a former Toronto Raptor and a Compton native, was also at the pop-out, making him another possible recipient of Drake's fury. A lot of his NBA friends were there. Wasn't DeMar DeRozan in there? He got smoke with him now, too, because of that. The situation gets even more complex when you consider DeRozan's ties to both Drake through the Raptors and Kendrick through their shared Compton roots. It's a perfect storm of conflicting loyalties. The emotional core of the track reaches a boiling point in the final verse, where Drake gets painfully personal. "When I was looking at y'all and cooking with y'all and giving out verses and bookings to y'all, making sure wires were hit. Man, what did I miss? When you was all in my crib looking at word for word at all of the shows, you always felt like this, man." This section is absolutely heartbreaking in its vulnerability. Drake's painting vivid scenes of intimacy, working in the studio, giving opportunities, handling payments, inviting people into his home, watching them cheer him on at shows. And now he's questioning if any of it was ever real. The references to cooking, verses, bookings, and wires point to artists he once helped who later aligned with Kendrick. Think of YG, who was on Who Do You Love with Drake, yet performed at the Pop-Out, or Mustard, who's produced for Drake but also created Not Like Us for Kendrick. What makes Drake's approach so powerful is that he's not just dissing people, he's making the listener emotionally invest in his pain. By laying out the specifics of what he gave, he builds a rock-solid case for why their betrayal cut so deep. It's emotional manipulation at its peak, making fans question the loyalty and morals of those who turned on him. Drake smartly contrasts his own loyalty with what he sees as clout-chasing behavior. Feels like nobody's there till you start giving out two-tones, and nobody cares till they in front of your tombstone. This imagery of luxury watches and graves paints a picture of people who only show love when there's something to gain or when it's too late. But maybe the most psychologically complex part of What Did I Miss is how Drake positions himself as both victim and victor. "I'm whipping around on like 600 acres. Let's go, let's go, let's go." That flex refers to his 330-acre Dos Brazos ranch in Texas, where he reportedly retreated after the feud's chaos, its vulnerability cloaked in luxury. He's hurting, but he's hurting in a mansion. Then there's the Bitcoin metaphor. What's the get back for? It's TBD. I look at it like a BTC. Could be down this week, then I'm up next week. By comparing himself to Bitcoin, Drake's acknowledging his current dip while hinting at a massive comeback. It's a clever way to show self-awareness and business savvy, while also subtly digging at Kendrick's more artistic, less commercial approach. The Hood reaction? Explosive. Social media has been wild. Some fans are praising Drake's raw honesty, while others are dragging him for taking aim at icons like LeBron. The tangled web of professional, personal, and cultural relationships has fueled heated debates far beyond typical rap beef discourse. What sets these disses apart is their specificity. Drake isn't lobbing generic insults, he's naming dates, relationships, and moments of betrayal. That kind of detail makes the pain real and the anger credible, at least in his eyes. Will this bring Kendrick back into the battle? Let's tackle the million-dollar question. Will Kendrick Lamar respond to this emotional, strategically layered masterpiece from Drake? The answer is complicated, and it might reshape the future of hip-hop as we know it. To predict Kendrick's move, you gotta look beyond the bars. Consider the legal risks, the legacy stakes, the commercial pressure, and the decade-long mental chess game between these two titans. Kendrick's been quiet since his brutal 2024 victory. His GNX album dropped in November. He's prepping for a global tour with SZA in April. He's sitting comfortably. Grammy wins, cultural dominance, and the universal belief that he won the beef. Drake shouldn't have even started this. You don't pick fights with Compton. They've been running this rap thing since '91, but here's where Drake's genius shines. Instead of going for the throat lyrically, he attacks the foundation Kendrick built his win on: loyalty. By making betrayal the theme, Drake flips the pressure onto Kendrick. Now, ignoring the diss could seem like admitting it's all true. There's also Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group, filed in January 2025. It's still unresolved. And while Kendrick isn't named, another diss from him could fuel legal fire, especially if he circles back to the explosive allegations from Not Like Us. Still, Kendrick's history suggests he might respond. In 2024, his replies came fast and lethal. Euphoria on April 30th. Meet the Grams 20 minutes after Drake's Family Matters on May 3rd. And Not Like Us the next day. He's a tactician who loves the counterstrike. And now, Drake's calling out Kendrick's allies, especially LeBron. That shakes the very foundation of Kendrick's victory arc. If Kendrick built his win on exposing Drake's lack of authenticity, then Drake's new narrative about fake loyalty could rip that apart if left unanswered. Social media split. One side says Drake's crying and Kendrick's moved on. The other's begging for another diss. From a business angle, the beef has been gold. Drake's collab album recently pulled in 92.4 million streams in a single day, beating Kendrick's 92.3 million for GNX. With Kendrick's tour coming, a response track could be both powerful and profitable. People keep bringing up 2017 when fans first compared Kendrick and Drake like LeBron and Carmelo. One's the lyrical god, the other the commercial king. That rivalry's never left the culture. But now, the psychological game is on a whole new level. Drake's not just baiting Kendrick into a rap battle, he's challenging his moral victory, his narrative, his supporters. He's daring Kendrick to either defend his legacy or let the betrayal claims hang in the air. Industry insiders are torn. Some say Kendrick has evolved, focusing on deeper themes. Others say his competitive streak won't let this slide. And honestly, the pop-out references hit way too close to home. Kendrick's 2025 tour offers the perfect setup for a response. Stadiums like SoFi could turn into battlegrounds. And if he responds, it may come as a subtle verse, a concert moment, or a new album, not necessarily a full-blown diss track. Regardless of what happens next, one thing is clear: Drake's "What Did I Miss" isn't just another diss. It's a strategic masterstroke, an emotionally charged, narratively brilliant pivot that might redefine how rap beefs unfold moving forward. Whether Kendrick responds or not, Drake has successfully reignited the debate, reframed the narrative, and reminded the world this story ain't over. So stay locked in. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because if Kendrick claps back, you better believe we're breaking it all down. Bar by bar, line by line. And trust will be here for every chapter,